The Daewoo Lacetti is a compact car produced by the South Korean manufacturer Daewoo since 2002. The first-generation Lacetti was available as a four-door sedan, a five-door hatchback or a five-door station wagon. The sedan and wagon were designed by Pininfarina, and the hatchback by Giorgetto Giugiaro. The hatchback, known as Daewoo Lacetti5 in South Korea, was introduced in 2004. The original Lacetti was also sold under the Daewoo Nubira name in Europe, whilst Chevrolet marketed the car under the Nubira and Lacetti nameplates in various countries. In November 2008, the second-generation Lacetti was launched under the name Daewoo Lacetti Premiere, being a badge-engineered version of the Chevrolet Cruze, though co-developed by GM Daewoo and Chevrolet. It was produced under the Daewoo marque until the beginning of 2011, when the latter was discontinued, but it continues production under the Chevrolet and Holden brands. First generation body styles and design Lacetti was developed based on its predecessor Nubira under Daewoo before it was acquired by GM. The four-door sedan, designed by Pininfarina, was launched in South Korea on November 25, 2002, following a development period of 2 years and 6 months. A pre-production prototype of the five-door hatchback, styled by Giorgetto Giugiaro, was shown at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September 2003 with production starting in December. The hatchback featured a different exterior and interior design than the sedan. At the Geneva Motor Show in March 2004, Daewoo revealed the station wagon body variant penned by Pininfarina with the hatchback's updated interior and a facelifted derivative of the sedan's frontal styling. The facelift replaced the three-slot grille with a single item for a new full-length item featuring a bold horizontal bar capped in the center by the company's logo. The wagon's door handles ditched the lift-up variety from the sedan and hatchback for pull-out versions. A facelift for the sedan was released on March 25 incorporating these new door handles, front-end styling and interior changes. The hatchback also received new door handles around this time. The sedan was facelifted for some markets from 2007, receiving the same front end as the hatchback featured since its debut. This version was only produced in certain countries, such as Colombia, India or Thailand, and since 2013 in Uzbekistan is the Daewoo Gentra. Marketing and production South Korea. In South Korea, the four-door Daewoo Lacetti was released in 2002. The five-door hatchback showed off only after the 2004 facelift of the sedan, which mainly included a new front grille, switching from a three-part corporate Daewoo grille to a simpler, Chevrolet-style grille. The hatchback name was Lacetti5, offering a specific design for the front, rear and dashboard. The wagon version, called simply the Lacetti wagon, was introduced in late 2007 though it was already sold in many other countries. It had the same dashboard as the hatchback, with the sedan front end. At the same time, GM Daewoo introduced the VM Motori diesel engines on the Lacetti range. When the Lacetti Premiere was introduced in November 2008, the sedan and wagon version sales were discontinued, leaving the only hatchback in the range, renamed Lacetti X. The Lacetti X was discontinued in October 2009. Australia. In Australia the Daewoo Lacetti was briefly sold between September 2003 and December 2004 as a four-door sedan. At this time, Daewoo withdrew from the Australian market. Fitted with a 1.8-litre engine rated at 90 kilowatts and 165 Nm, the Lacetti offered standard 5-speed manual or optional 4-speed automatic transmission. The single trim level, called SX, included a dual front airbags, air conditioning, power steering, keyless entry, power windows, CD player, and an alarm. The special edition SX Limited from October 2003 added anti-lock brakes, side impact airbags, alloy wheels, climate control air conditioning, 6-stacker CD player, tilt telescopic steering wheel, lumbar support for the front passenger seat, and leather trim. From 2005, the Lacetti and Lacetti hatchback were sold together as the JF Series Holden Viva. It was introduced at around the same time as the Daewoo Gentra-based Holden Barina. Unlike the Barina, however, The Viva was meant to be below the premium Holden Astra as a budget alternative. Despite the Viva's lower price compared to the Astra continued to outsell the Viva by a factor of about 2 to 1. With the release of the all-new Holden Cruze in mid-2009, the Viva ceased to be sold in Australia. Canada. The Lacetti was available in Canada as the Chevrolet Optra and 2 models, a 4-door hatchback, and an Optra wagon, all in LS or LT trim levels. The sedan was available for model years 2004 and 2005, but was removed for 2006. All are powered by the 2.0-litre inline-4 DTEC engine, rated at 119 horsepower at 5,400 rpms and 126 lb-ft of torque at 4,000 rpms, driving the front wheels through either a 5-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed automatic. Despite its compact size and the 2.0-litre engine, fuel economy was poor, rated at 10.7 and 7.4 L/100 km for city and highway driving, respectively, which was worse than mid-size cars like the Toyota Camry or Honda Accord, considering that the Optra was a compact car. The car was positioned as a versatile and fun-to-drive but affordable budget compact family car. Brakes are disc, front and rear. The Optra slotted between the Cobalt and the Aveo, and it replaced the Daewoo Nubira. Independent suspension, 15-inch wheels, and CD player were standard on the LS sedan, with optional ABS and air conditioning. The LT adds standard air conditioning and cruise control, standard fog lamps on both LS and LT, and an optional sunroof. The sedan is rated as an ultra-low emissions vehicle. The Optra 5 hatchback was added to the lineup for 2004 and was more contemporary in styling and equipment, with projector-type headlights and fog lamps, clear taillight lenses, and blackout grille. In addition to the same options available on the sedan LS and LT models, an options package contained alloy wheels, sunroof, spoiler, leather steering wheel and shift knob, and steering wheel mounted controls for the 8-speaker audio system. The Optra wagon was also added to the lineup for 2005, sharing the sedan Euro unregistered trademark S-front styling. The wagon has standard alloy roof rails, 60/40 folding rear seat, and a 12-volt power outlet in the rear compartment, in addition to the same options available on the sedan LS and LT models. General Motors Canada discontinued the importation of Optra for 2008. China. In China, the cars are marketed as the Buick XL sedan or wagon and XL HR-V. The sedan, which is also assembled in China, features an updated exterior. The successor to the Daewoo Lacetti-based Buick XL is based on the global GM Delta II platform, like the Opel Astra and Chevrolet Cruze and their derivatives. The development center at the Opel plant in Raunkow-Selchim, Germany, leads the development of this platform. This second-generation hatchback Buick XL XT, making its debut in 2009, is actually a replica of the Opel Astra hatchback adapted to Chinese conditions. The corresponding sedan made its debut in China in 2010. A version of this sedan for North America is being introduced in 2012 as Buick Verano, and as Opel Astra Limousine in other parts of the world. Europe. In Europe, the car was initially sold as the Daewoo Nubira, with the production model being introduced at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September 2003. However, by the end of 2004, it was rebadged Chevrolet Lacetti throughout the continent. As with its home market, in some European markets, the Lacetti name is also used for the entire range of sedan, station wagon and hatchback models on the same J-Series platform. In Finland and Germany, for example, only the hatchback is sold under the Lacetti name. The European models were initially only available with the following gasoline-powered 4-cylinder engines: 1.4 L ETEC2 a Euro 93 horsepower at 6,300 rpms, 1.6 L Family 1 a Euro 109 horsepower at 5,800 rpms, 0 a Euro 100 km per hour, 10.9 seconds and 10.6 seconds, top speed 186 km per hour and 184 km per hour, 1.8 L Family 2 a Euro 120 horsepower at 5,800 rpms, 2.0 LDTEC a Euro 132 horsepower at 5800 RPMs, 2.0 LDOHC a Euro 121 bhp, 0 a Euro 100 km per hour, 9 seconds, top speed, 202 km per hour. A diesel-powered version was later added to the lineup with these specifications, 2.0-litre SOHC turbo diesel engine, under VM motory license of RA420 SOHC, 121 bhp, 280 Nm torque from 2000 RPMs, 0. A Euro 100 km per hour in 9 seconds, 200 km per hour top speed. This engine is available with 5-speed manual and 5-speed automatic. In Europe, the sedan version was initially sold as the Daewoo Nubira. However, in late 2003, it was announced that Daewoo would be rebranded Chevrolet in some European markets. The Chevrolet Nubira went on sale in early 2004, initially only in Eastern Europe. When Daewoo was rebranded Chevrolet across Europe by the end of 2004, the Chevrolet Nubira was renamed Chevrolet Lacetti in some markets for the 2005 model year, which expanded the Lacetti lineup to include both the sedan and station wagon versions in addition to the 5-door hatchback version, in line with Korea. The engines built for the Nubira and its badge-engineered twins are the same as in the Lacetti hatchback and its badge-engineered versions. The 1.8-litre Family 2 4-cylinder engine is sourced from the Australian car maker Holden. India. In 2004, the Lacetti was launched in India and sold as the Optra and the Sportsback version was sold as Optra SRV, which the company planned to produce with a 2.0-litre diesel engine in the near future. The Optra was sold with two engine options, 1.6 and 1.8-litre. The 1.6-litre petrol version was available in 3 trim levels, the Elite LS, and the high-end Lieutenant Royale, while the 1.8-litre diesel version was available in 2 levels, the LT and the Lieutenant AT. The 1.6-litre petrol produced 104 bhp and allowed a top speed of 177 km per hour, while the 1.8-litre diesel sibling was capable of producing 114 bhp and a limited top speed of 191 km per hour. However, the 1.8-litre automatic was capable of 176 km per hour. In 2007 GM India introduced a facelifted diesel-engined Optra called the Optra Magnum. The Magnum sported the family nose, and better interiors as compared to the petrol version, also a new 2.0-litre TCDI engine capable of producing 121 bhp. Subsequently the petrol version received the new nose treatment and tail lights, and was sold as the Optra Magnum Petrol. The SRV succumbed to competition from cheaper cars and was eventually discontinued in 2009. It had a 1.6-litre petrol engine with a maximum power output of 101 bhp. The Optra sedan continued selling in India until 2013. New Zealand, as in Australia, New Zealand uses the Holden nameplate on most General Motors products. Thus the Lacetti was marketed in New Zealand as the Holden Viva. New Zealand has also imported numerous used Japanese specification 2004 Euro 2005 Chevrolet Optra sedan versions of the same model. Pakistan. In Pakistan, the car came in 3 trim levels, 1.6-litre SE and LS and the 1.8-litre CDX. SE trim models came with manual transmission only, whilst LS and CDX models came with 5-speed manual or 4-speed automatic transmissions. Sales however, were poorer than expected and all models were withdrawn from sale. Japan. In Japan, Suzuki briefly distributed the Lacetti as the Chevrolet Optra wagon. It was available in 2 trim levels, the LS and the Lieutenant both came with either a 5-speed manual or 4-speed automatic transmission with a console shift. The Optra wagon was powered by a 1.6 or 1.8-litre engine. For model years 2004 and 2005 the Lacetti sedan was also sold in Japan as the Chevrolet Optra Lieutenant. The Optra was limited in sales due to the exterior dimensions exceeding 1,700 mm, thereby causing Japanese owners to pay a yearly tax for a vehicle that exceeds Japanese dimension regulations. Mexico. In Mexico, the Lacetti came to the markets in 2006 as Optra to replace the Chevrolet Astra, and it was sold only as a sedan. The Optra was phased out after the 2009 model year in favor of the Chevrolet Cruze, although for now, the Mexican Cruze is an imported model from South Korea. Colombia. The Lacetti was launched in Colombia, under the Chevrolet brand, in 2004 with the sedan version having the following engine options: 1.4L GM Family I engine ETEC2, 94 horsepower at 6,300 RPMs, 1.8L GM Family 2 engine DTEC, 121 horsepower at 5,800 RPMs. In 2006 the hatchback version was introduced, with only the aforementioned 1.8-liter engine. By the end of 2007, the 1.4-liter engine was replaced by the 1.6L Family I ETEC2, 109 horsepower at 5,800 RPMs. In addition, the design of wheels was updated for all models offered. In 2008, the saloon version received a facelift, with a sportier interior and front styling similar to that of the hatchback. Assembly at the Bogotá GM plant ceased in 2013. Southeast Asia. In Singapore, the name Chevrolet has replaced the Daewoo nameplate after GM bought Daewoo. It still offers the same lineup as did GM Daewoo, naming the Optra sedan, Optra station wagon and Optra 5 hatchback in Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. In Indonesia, the sedan is simply called Optra or Optra Magnum for the facelift model, and Estate for the station wagon. The vehicles use the 1.6 or 1.8-liter engine with an automatic transmission option for selected models. United States. Suzuki marketed a rebadged Lacetti as the Forenza and Reno beginning in the United States in 2004 following the end of Daewoo's North American operations in 2002 and replacing the Daewoo Nubira station wagon and sedan. The Forenza Reno falls between the Aereo and the now discontinued Verona. In the territories of Guam and Northern Mariana Islands, it was sold as a Chevrolet Optra, but it was only available as a sedan. The U.S. model line features the 2.0-liter four-cylinder DTEC made by General Motors, developing a maximum power of 132 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs. The Forenza and the Reno were discontinued within the 2008 model year, the Reno being replaced by the Suzuki SX4 sedan after the 2008 model year and the Forenza by the Chevrolet Cruze. Iraq. The Chevrolet Optra entered the Iraqi markets in 2004 with a 1.6-liter engine. A few years later the LS-term version was used as a traffic police patrol vehicle. Uzbekistan. In Uzbekistan, it was produced by GM Uzbekistan from 2008, in a plant located in Azarka, being marketed as the Chevrolet Lacetti. In 2013, the partner company Daewoo of To began producing the facelifted sedan version as the new Daewoo Gentra. It is marketed throughout the CIS countries. Russia, it is sold as the Chevrolet Lacetti and includes 5-door hatchback, sedan and station wagon models. The entire line of models are produced at the Avtota plant in Kaliningrad with full cycle of manufacturing. The Russian models are available with the following gasoline-powered four-cylinder engines: 1.4 LA Euro 95 horsepower. Manual. Not available for station wagon, 1.6 LA Euro 110 horsepower. Automatic and manual, 1.8 LA Euro 122 horsepower. Automatic and manual. Second generation. The second generation, built on the GM Delta II platform, is sold in most markets as the Chevrolet Cruze. In South Korea it was originally branded as the Daewoo Lacetti Premiere, until the Daewoo brand was replaced by Chevrolet in 2011. For the Chinese successor of the Lacetti-based Buick XL, see Buick XL XT and Buick XL GT, which are twins of Opel Astra hatchback and sedan respectively. Chinese versions also included the new SAIC GM Wuling joint venture called Bajun 630 manufactured in Liuzhou, Guangxi, China. It was launched at the 2011 Shanghai Auto Show, and went on sale in August 2011. Motorsport. The car has been used in the FIA's World Touring Car Championship from 2005 until 2012, and in the British Touring Car Championship from 2008 until 2011. Media: the Chevrolet Lacetti was chosen as the new reasonably priced car for Top Gear's star in a reasonably priced car segment for Season 8 in 2006, replacing the Suzuki Liana, which had ceased production. In this segment of the show, celebrity guests set timed laps of the Top Gear test track driving the Lacetti. In the first episode of Series 15 of Top Gear, broadcast on BBC Two on June 27, 2010, the Lacetti, that had been used for the power laps, was given a Viking burial by presenter Richard Hammond. An industrial chimney was demolished, collapsing over and burying the car under rubble. Soon afterwards, the new reasonably priced car, a Kia Ceed, was unveiled to viewers. References